Quilty is brought to you by
Baby Lock. Baby Lock sewing and long arm machines. From piecing to long arming for the love of sewing. Aurifil. Aurifil Italian thread. Perfectly suited for all your quilting projects. Dear Stella. A unique fabric brand with modern style. Fairfield. Together, we can make beautiful things. Hovels Sewing. Cut to the point with Hovels Sewing. Moda. Make something quilty with Moda fabrics. Northcott. Cottons that feel like silk. Omnigrid. Providing quilters with specialty rulers and accessories for over 30 years. Hello out there. It's Quilty. When I put this show together in my living room late at night. No, there's a lot of people who work on this show, but the people who put it together beforehand, before we get on set, me, Heather Kenyon, we get all these step outs together and we put things like this into the plastic bags that we bring with us that have all the show materials in them. I just thought it was funny. UFO show. That's what we're going to talk about today is UFOs, unfinished objects. Do you have them? If you've been sewing for any length of time, you do have them. And they can be problematic. The problem with UFOs is that they're taking up space in your sewing studio or your kitchen table or your closet or under your bed. They take up space. And I'm a finisher. I like to finish projects that I start. I got this from my mother. She doesn't have many UFOs in her life, which is, I think it's good, and I'll tell you why. However, I also believe in not throwing good time after bad. If you start a project or you make a few blocks that you hate, you just don't like where it's going and you made a wrong fabric choice or you just think, I don't like this, I'm not inspired by this, it's okay to stop. It's like reading a novel that you totally hate. Like, you don't have to finish it if you really hate it a third of the way in. There's other books to read, okay? So that said, you may have these things that pile up. So what are you going to do with them? Well, you've got some options, and I've got a cheat sheet here. The first option is to finish them. Finish your project. Take the things that you just haven't finished because you got distracted or you decided to start something else or you're not a finisher, so you're just abandoning projects right and left. If you've got a quilt that you've started, these little log cabin things, how cute is that? Whoops. These are paper foundation pieced. I love this. I love that chambray sort of denim-y thing. Well, I just kind of got sidetracked quilting a quilt. These keep piling up. They're just kind of stacked on my shelf at home. I should finish this. It's a cute quilt. I should finish it. And if I don't want to do a big thing, I could do a baby quilt with it. Okay? So that's one option for your UFOs. And along with that, I started doing these fan blocks that I love. Don't you love this? So cute, right? And I've got a lot of them because I really thought this was going to be like one of the more modern quilts I've ever made. I should be careful where I hold these up. Right here, like this. But I haven't done it because I don't know. I just haven't finished it. I don't know why. So make a pillow, right? Make this into a pillow. That'd be awesome. Or what I really want to do is I want to make a bag. I want to make a really cool patchwork bag. So you don't have to finish it into a quilt. You can do it in another way. I also made white blocks. I should finish this project. It's totally cool. Okay, so anyway, you get my point. So another option that you have with your UFOs is to make a sampler. You'd have to do the math to figure out how this goes with, some of these, but you could make a block style quilt that has all these different blocks in it. Might not be the prettiest thing you ever looked at, but you could do that. Okay, but that actually brings me to my next option, which is practice. You can practice things on UFOs that you would be scared to practice on otherwise. Okay, for example, I'm going to show this. This block is only a mother could love this block. I loved all the fabrics in this, but it is not a pretty sight. Okay, it's just wrong. It's just ugly. There's too much going on. This is actually, it's this block. Well, here's another one here. Let me show you this one. This, which I also did not like. I just tried, I don't know what I was thinking. I was drunk. No, I was not. Anyway, so the point is that this is a finished block. It's got a lot of really interesting patchwork, but I'm never going to use it. So make a quilt sandwich out of it and practice some stitch in the ditch. Practice some free motion on something that's sort of real. Because sometimes we practice on a quilt sandwich and it's like, well, yeah, I can kind of do it on this plain quilt sandwich, but what happens when I am sewing over seams and things? You know, what if I'm quilting over seams? Well, on this you can do that, and you don't care if it goes into the garbage. And then the last thing you can do with your UFOs is you can give them away. You can give them to your guild to use for, I don't know, sewing, if they do stuff for kids, you know, if you have kids come over and, you know, they're sewing with your guild or something, or if your guild gives stuff to charity or makes charity quilts. It's not cool to think like, oh, give all your ugliest stuff to charity because nobody cares. We want to make nice quilts for anybody who would get a quilt. However, a quilt that is not the most beautiful quilt in the world is still doing a better job in the world being given to someone who needs a quilt than sitting languishing in your studio in a basket. You know what I'm saying? Think about it, people. And then there's also, I'm going to give you some grace because I have a few UFOs that are like really hard blocks that I've only made one of. I don't know, does it count as a UFO if it's like I want to try this really hard paper pieced pineapple block and it's the only one I could do for a year because it melted my brain? It's sort of a UFO, but really it's just inspiration for me to one day make that quilt. God, that would be so cool. So UFOs, do some stuff with them. Don't let them just sit there, and don't start any new projects before you deal with this. Okay? It's advice from Mary Fons. What can I say? Okay. Happy quilting. Bye.
Quilty is brought to you by
Baby Lock. Baby Lock sewing and long arm machines. From piecing to long arming for the love of sewing. Aurifil. Aurifil Italian thread. Perfectly suited for all your quilting projects. Dear Stella, a unique fabric brand with modern style. Fairfield, together we can make beautiful things. Hovels Sewing, cut to the point with Hovels Sewing. Moda, make something quilty with Moda fabrics. Northcott, cottons that feel like silk. Omnigrid, providing quilters with specialty rulers and accessories for over 30 years.